What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Bassman, the voice of Southwest Louisiana. And I am here live and in living color with an upcoming artist from right here in Lake Charles, Louisiana. His name is the Beat Doctor. But his government, I'm going to put his government out there. Go and tell everybody, hey, man.
What's going on? What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Oh, I always want to do this. Hello out there in TV land.
Man, okay, so tell me all the things. What's new? What do you have going on right now?
Man, a lot. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I ain't get no rest in about 2 months, to be honest. Just a lot of stuff, man. Just shows back to back I've been having. Competitions that I've been a part of, man. It's just been a blessing, man. You know, I really can't say God has really been moving. I can really see how he's been moving in my life, man. I've been able to be in some places that I never thought I'd be able to be in. You know what I'm saying? With some people I never thought I'd be able to be in the room with. You know what I'm saying? To actually have face-to-face conversations, which is real cool. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's just been a lot of shows, a lot of competitions. They got some stuff that's about to be revealed within the next couple of weeks to like maybe a month. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like they say, I don't want to jinx it. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them people that's like, I want to let the stuff speak for itself. So whenever it get posted and all that type of stuff, then y'all gonna be able to be like, yo, this what he was talking about. That's crazy. Yeah.
Okay, well, while we waiting, just give it a little taste. We want to smell what you're cooking real quick.
You know, I can say, you know, it's some you know, some spotlights, you know what I'm saying, some artist spotlights going on, and some, you know what I'm saying, some interviews here and there. You know, I'm not gonna reveal the sources, but y'all gonna see the sources whenever they come up. So
fantastic. Let me ask you this. When did you first fall in love with music? When did you know that was going to be your thing?
Well, I'm gonna say if you ask my mom would say 3 years old, because she said I used to be rapping with a chicken bone in my mouth. She said she told me I always loved food and music. She said I used to be rapping with a chicken bone in my hand, like coughing up a lung because I didn't swallow my food, like and then keep going. But when I really, you know, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day. And when I really realized that I really had a gift in it was I was about 15 years old, because at first I used to be, first of all, I love Michael Jackson. So I always was dancing. The first move I learned was the moonwalk. And I started dancing. I was dancing. You know what I'm saying? So I was always dancing all the time, and I always was like, you know, I was one of those kids that, like, I knew I really loved music when I was younger because I would be dancing all the time. But I also would, like, my dad had so many records and so many CDs. You know, you know what I'm saying, our generation, you know, we had, like, the big, huge, like, briefcase stack of CDs. Yeah. And my dad had, like, and I would literally sit there for hours and read, you know, the booklets that came inside the CDs and read, like, oh, this says produced by, this says written, this says, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, did these people write these? You know what I'm saying? Not knowing the government, because they put the government name, not the artist name. They put the government name. So then when I started realizing, when I got older, who these people were, you know what I'm saying? Like who Quincy Jones was, who Neo was, who you know, who Timothy Mosley was, which is one of my favorite producers, Timbaland, you know what I'm saying, who, you know what I'm saying, who all these people, who Rodney Jerkins was, and all these different people, man. And it was like, I just was one of those kids that just always was just fascinated by stuff like that. But my aunt,
let me ask you this. Go ahead.
What's up?
Go ahead.
My aunt was in college, and she was like doing a lot of poetry slams, and she would let me read her poetry, and I thought, like, it was just amazing how she was so good with words, and that kind of made me want to do poetry. So I started writing poetry at first when I was like 10, and then when I realized I wanted to merge the two, you know what I'm saying, I had like a huge love for music and a huge love for like words, and I wanted to merge the two, and that was whenever I was 15, and I merged the two and just started rapping at that point.
That's not bad. Well, let me ask you this. Who do you consider your influences when it comes to being an MC? Who are the ones that you looked up to and was like, you know what, I want to do that, but better?
first man that I fell in love with, which he was my dad's favorite rapper, was Tupac. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? I just loved how, you know what I'm saying, he might have not been the most lyrical, but I just loved how he embodied every emotion of a man. Like, you know what I'm saying, like how he was a poet, but then also he would be, you know, the anger that a black man, you know what I'm saying, would deal with. He would talk about that, you know what I'm saying, political, spiritual, you know, he would talk to the ladies. He would, you know, he always bigged up black women, you know what I'm saying,
yeah,
and that's missing a lot of times. But he would always big up black women. He would always talk about, you know what I'm saying, us as a people and how we can be better. But also, you know what I'm saying, you ain't want to play with him either. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I loved how he just embodied like every emotion of a man to where everybody can kind of relate to him. So that was like my first influence. Um, as far as like style wise, like I was a big Ludacris fan, a big Busta Rhymes fan, and I was like a big Wu-Tang fan. Like I just loved all the different, all their different styles, from Method Man, how smooth and cool and charismatic he was, to how abstract ODB was, and how intellectual the Jizzle was. You know what I'm saying? Because his nickname was the Genius. It was just, you know, it was crazy. But those would be like most of my influences, man. You know what I'm saying? So
do you remember your
yes.
first rap? Do you remember the first rap you've ever written?
I don't remember my first rap, but I knew that mug was trash. Because it was like on some ick pig dog doodoo type stuff. So, but I knew that it was like what gave me the confidence was whenever I rapped it to my brother. My brother was like, "Oh, that's crazy." So
Yeah.
that gave me the confidence, even though because my dad's side of the family is a big, huge musical family. Like all his brothers and sisters sung. And my uncle, my dad's the second oldest boy, he actually like started an R&B group in Lake Charles that used to be called In Depth. It was him and Gerald Chambers.
Oh,
They actually, huh?
anything I might know?
I don't think so. It wasn't like they wasn't really like real big, but he had started the group. And then he kind of broke off, and he almost got signed to LaFace Records
Oh.
back in the '90s, back in '96, and then he broke off, and you know what I'm saying, he said God called him to be a pastor and stuff, so he kind of walked away from, you know, the secular life. But that was the first person I had rapped my rap to, and he was like, this is garbage, but I like how you flowed it. So maybe if you can just work on, like, you know, saying your wording and stuff like that,
Yeah.
you know, because you got the style down. It's just the words need work. So, you know what I'm saying, that's whenever I was like, okay, well, maybe I need to work on my words.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you remember your first performance? And if you don't remember your first performance, do you remember your most memorable?
Okay, my first performance, I did a performance at this. I did a performance at this. It was something for Kashada Casino.
Hmm.
It was me. That was back whenever I had a little rap group, me, my brother, and my cousin.
Yeah.
And the crazy part, this is how corny it was. We went by 3D because all our names started with a D. So it was 3D. Um, so it was DeAndre, Dijon, Devontae. So it was like we was like, oh, it's 3D. We coming at you in 3D. It was funny. But we had a performance and in front of like a small crowd. They had I forgot what it was that they were having. I think it was like it was like an employee appreciation where they would have like kind of like a carnival or whatever, and they had like a stage, and we performed there. And it was like, you know, the reaction that we got from the crowd from all of the, I mean, you know, our breathing and stuff was horrible. We was giving it all we had. Our
Yeah.
breathing and stuff was horrible, but the reaction of like how hyped some of the kids that was our age, because we was like junior high school, so the excitement that they had, and they were kind of like hyped up. That was like my first introduction to like, okay, I really want to do this.
Yeah.
I love entertaining people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what was it like when you performed at the Los Angeles Grammy Museum?
Oh
Yeah.
man.
You
First
think
of
I know
all, that
about
was
that?
surreal. That was surreal. That was it felt so good because like just walking into the museum and looking at like they had mannequins with actual people's like famous outfits that they had at the Grammys on, like, you know, Michael Jackson's outfit and
Yeah.
Lady Gaga's outfit and all that. So and then they had videos of them of their acceptance speeches and stuff like that. So it was just walking through that whole museum was just amazing. And then just to know that this is the same stage that, you know, people like Chris Brown, whenever he first was getting was kind of coming out, you know, where the Jackson 5 and all these different like big huge people had performed at Clive Davis Grammy party like the day before the Grammys. Like this was the actual stage. This is the place where they do that the night before the Grammys. I was just like, wow. It was like it was such a like an overwhelming feeling of emotions, man. And so whenever I got up there, man, I just kind of sucked it all in and just kind of just left it out there on the stage, man. And everybody loved it, man. It was just, you know, like I said, finished in the top 10 out of like 3,000 contestants across the U.S., man. So it was real cool.
Walk me through the competition. What was that about?
Okay, so actually my man Scooter, cousin Scooter, he
Scooter.
actually, yes sir. He actually sent me the I forgot what it was called, but he sent me the contest. He was like, man, I think you should do this, man, because he saw me perform before. He was like, man, you should do this, man. So I did it. The first thing I had to do was I had to get 10 votes from, you know, saying people that you know that I knew. I had to get at least 10 votes, you know, votes for my song for me to actually go and do the actual competition. And that was in Atlanta, the same weekend of the BET Hip Hop Awards back in 2021.
Oh,
so
wow.
I went and did that, man. That was a dope experience. It was like out of 5,000 people, only 3,000 people made it to the actual submission. You know what I'm saying? Where you had to perform. So 3,000 people, man. It was an all-day event. I'm over there, like, man, just waiting my turn and stuff like that, man. It's hot, going, grabbing something to eat, all that type of stuff, man. Just meeting people, networking. And then finally being able to perform in front of some of the people. I didn't have, you had to have, like, if you had 100 votes, you could perform in front of DJ Envy on DJ Envy's stage.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't have 100 votes. I had like 50. So, but it was okay. It was cool. So from that point, killed the performance to where they saw me to the next round, which was the finale round, where it was 200 people that went to the Grammy Museum.
Yeah.
And performed at the Grammy Museum. So I went to the Grammy Museum, performed, man, and then I made it to the top 10. And then after making it to the top 10, you get to go to a rooftop all white party, right? And just networking stuff. But I didn't go because I ended up meeting this guy named Michael O'Brien.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you how God works sometimes.
Tell me how you
So me and my fiance was just out there because it was the same weekend as the BET Awards, right?
Right.
So we over there, like, you know, I did the grand performance. We were supposed to go to the white party. I'm like, man, and then people lining up outside and stuff like that today. Actually, on my birthday, June 24th.
Happy
so
belated.
on my, you know what I'm saying? On my birthday, we walking down there. We went and got some Starbucks. And they had this guy sitting there. We was like, oh, this where the red carpet gonna be? Because we was just like, hey, can we just come? You know, because sometimes they have people you can take pictures of celebrities or whatever. And then out of nowhere, the guy was like, y'all not going to the BET Awards? It was like, oh no, man, we was just trying to see if we could. And he was like, hey, come with me real quick. You know, so he came over there. And he was like, hey, man, check this out. Give me your phone. And then he sent this link to me and my fiance phone. And was like, fill that out. And once you fill that out, I'm gonna check my email and make sure that it's filled out all the way. And then we're gonna have you do this rapid COVID test.
Hey!
Did the rapid COVID test. COVID test came back negative, and he was like, all right, here you go. This is your we're gonna send the ticket to your email so you can get into the BET Awards. Hey! And it was like, it was crazy. And I literally was and me and her was in line, and they had this guy named Michael O'Brien. He was Teddy Riley's road manager, right? And he was like, man, I'm from New Orleans. I was like, man, we always play each other. I was like, man, it's so nice to have somebody from the home state. So we chopped it up with him, talking about gumbo, etouffee, and all that, right? And he was like, man, check this out. Look, give me your Facebook. I'm gonna message you, and so that you could come and you can come walk the red carpet over there with me, because he was supposed to be walking the red carpet. not actually walking, but actually being behind there and being able to, you know what I'm saying, like see some of the people. So was able to do that. That was amazing too, man. It was like, you know what I'm saying, that whole situation was amazing. And then was able to go and check out the BET Awards, man. It was just amazing, and seeing how everything happens behind the scenes and stuff that you don't see when it's commercial break. It was real cool, man. Bumping into all these celebrities, bumping into Irv Gotti, taking a picture with him, having a conversation with him. I went to DJ Quick, DJ Jazzy Jeff and Rakim concert that they had. Big Boy from Big Boy's Neighborhood was in the audience with us. And I told him, like, yo, Big Boy. He was like, he dapped me up and everything. He was just like real cool, man. It was a real dope experience. That whole weekend was a real dope experience.
So what's next for you? You performed at the Grammy stage. You got to go to the BET Awards.
Yeah.
You hobnobbed with the legend that we look up to. So what's next?
What's next for me, man? Like I said, I have this thing that I say where it's like, whatever I did this year, I have to do more than what I did this year.
Right.
The next year. So you know, so I went to Los Angeles to perform at the Grammy Award Museum. I went to Miami in November and placed sixth place out of, you know what I'm saying, yeah, I was placed in the top 10. I was sixth place out of 5,000 people around the world, not just in the nation, but around the world. So you know what I'm saying, got to party on the yacht with all type of people and stuff like that too. So that was real cool. Got a chance to meet Zaytoven. Some stuff is coming from that relationship. You know what I'm saying? That's a conversation.
Because I know you did a music video recently. So what you got? What else you got?
Yeah, man, I got a music video. I got another music video that I'm gonna need you in this one, brother. You know what I'm saying? I know I need you in this one, man. You know what I'm saying? People need to see you in more than just, you know what I'm saying,
from the neck up.
Us your tidbits. You know what I'm saying? We need to see you from the feet up, man. Yeah, man, but I'm gonna tell you some stuff about the whole Zaytoven thing, you know, off camera. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, under stipulations, you know what I'm saying? You know, me and him having these conversations, he was like, look, I don't want you to reveal a whole bunch of stuff right now, but, you know what I'm saying, you know, so we got stuff going in the works behind the scenes, me and Zaytoven, so that's real cool, man. It's just about, you know, elevating in my calling, man. Just elevating, just constantly working, constantly. I'm in the studio at least 3 times a week at this point, because I used to be. It was a time where I started getting older and I started getting to my late 20s, and I was like, man, you know, like being a rapper and producer is like, man, you know, the older you get, it's like, man, you know, don't nobody want to listen to you, you know what I'm saying? But then whenever you start actually, when you come from a place of but when you come from a real place, you know what I'm saying, and you start being a little bit more vulnerable in what you're talking about, you know what I'm saying, to where people can relate to you, people are always going to want to listen to you, man, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? That I see that with you all day, every day on TikTok, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying, just you like you being vulnerable and just, you know what I'm saying, like letting people in on what you're going through currently, what you've been through, and on top of that, just letting people in on, you know what I'm saying, information that you're gathering and your thoughts on the world at large, you know what I'm saying, that makes people gravitate to you more, because it's like, you know, you could be a generic, you know what I'm saying, anything, you know what I'm saying, like, you either gonna get Captain Crunch or you're gonna get Colossal Crunch. Which one you want? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you can get the generic in the bag or you can get the one in the box. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everybody wants the one in the box, but what comes with that? What comes with being the box rather than being the bag? Anybody can be the bag, the generic version. But being the box, is a little bit more money that goes behind it, a little bit more care, a little bit more quality. You know what I'm saying? So you have to let people in on your life experiences and stuff. And once I started doing that, man, I started seeing like growth in, like, you know what I'm saying, my YouTube channel, my, you know what I'm saying, just my fan base, and people wanting to see me, and then being able to, like, people recognizing me and stuff like that. People, you know, talking to me like, you know, hey, what's up, B Doctor? You know what I'm saying? I used to be called by my name. Wait, what's up, D? Now people like, Doc, what's up, Doc? I'll be like, man, who know me in here?
Let me ask you this: do you remember the first what do you remember the first time you were recognized in public?
First time
and what was that like?
Recognized in public, it was by these school kids, man. at Market Basket. I never forget it. I never forget it because, of course, they don't know my real name. They
Right.
just know because they saw me at like a festival or something.
Right.
And I just remember it was like, man, it's that. That's B. I heard them talking like, that's B Doctor. That's the guy that was performing at the thing the other day. And then they was like, excuse me, sir. I was like, yeah. It was like, are you? I was like, yeah, I'm him. And they was like, oh my God. And they just was like, they took a picture with me and stuff. I was like, man, I feel important at this point. I feel like somebody now.
Well, let me ask
But
you,
it was a cool experience.
because you're not just a rapper, like you said, you're also a producer and all this other stuff. So who else have you produced, and what are y'all working on? I'm curious.
Oh yeah. Well, of course, you know what I'm saying, I'm always producing for all the reps, you know what I'm saying, all my whole crew, that's Scooter, Courtney, Courthouse, Don Derry, formerly known as Don Derry, now Don Letterchini, Peebo, Desi Dukes, you know what I'm saying, Nia Lampkin, you know what I'm saying, just I produce for them. I got some stuff in the works right now with Jamie Romaine. I've worked with Jarvis. I've worked, you know what I'm saying, I work with Leslie Lachey. You know what I'm saying? I work with a lot of people out here in the city, man, and I'm trying to broaden myself outwards. So right now, currently, I'm actually doing a collab project with all these people that I've met from Los Angeles, Atlanta, and Miami. That's
Wow.
all over the U.S., man. And like these people are like literally free of charge. It's like, usually they'll charge people, but just everybody's been saying the same thing, like, man, you just so genuine, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't meet too many people like you, man. And it was like, man, I really love what you're doing and what you're trying to do. And you're trying to use your platform to elevate other artists. And they're just like, man, sign me up, and they're sending me their verses or them singing hooks or whatever. So I'm putting together a collaborative mixtape with them.
Oh.
So it'll be coming out in May. So that, you know what I'm saying, that's exciting. And then after that, I have another solo project coming out that's a little bit more personal. You know what I'm saying? I'm calling it A Heart of a Believer. And it's just me just diving into a lot of stuff that I started touching on my last album. I started touching on certain songs, but
The last.
title of the last one was 89, man, the year I was born, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just was like, I titled it that because I just wanted to show people like how much I've grown. You know what I'm saying? How much I've grown as an artist, and you know what I'm saying, what I've been through, and you know what I'm saying, how and what people can kind of expect to see, you know what I'm saying, from here on, man. So yeah, as of right now, that's it. And then I'm helping executive produce a few projects, like helping executive produce Don Derry project, Courthouse project, Scooter project. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of keeping my hands and stuff at all times so that I can kind of keep ideas fresh. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, look, I know you're busy, so I ain't gonna try to keep you for too much more longer. But if the people watching today don't remember anything else from today's conversation, what's the one thing you want them to take with them for the rest of their lives?
One thing I want you to take with you for the rest of your life is do not stop. I don't care what it is, whether, you know what I'm saying, entrepreneurship, whatever it is, man, whatever your dream was, whatever is burning inside of you, that's your gift. That's your calling. Whatever's burning inside of you that you can't stop thinking about, you can't stop. No matter what, you're like, you know what, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying, time has passed. I can't get to that or whatever. But it's something that just keeps tapping you on the back of your neck all the time. That's what you're supposed to be doing. So you need to go ahead and, like you say, nurture your gift.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Continue to nurture your gift and continue to, because I always tell people God has called you to reach a certain amount of people that only you can reach. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? People who are like-minded people like you need to hear you, because they may not have heard it from a perspective like that from anybody else that they can actually identify with. So you need to, you know what I'm saying? Your life is not your own at this, you know what I'm saying? Your life is really not your own. So that's what I want everybody to take with them, man.
Man, that's beautiful, Doc. Look, we're going to keep talking. I'll keep you here all day. I know you in the studio right now because I see the purple background. So I ain't gonna keep you.
Yeah.
Thank you, man, for stopping in with us. We appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, and y'all stay tuned. I'm going to see y'all in a little bit.
All right.